Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another, hopefully interesting discussion for you. Another Minecraft discussion. My name is Kimberly Quinn, and I'm delighted to have this conversation today about focusing on the substance, and then just sort of knowing when we focus on the substance, the essence of who we are and our purpose here, then we will be successful. I think too often, especially in such a success-driven society, right? Such a success-driven society. There's so much bling-bling out there with the media in general and social media. There's so much exposure, even for the regular person. Like, that didn't used to be. I'm 57, fabulous 57. That didn't used to be the case when I was a kid. You didn't know what other people were up to for the most part, unless you saw it up close and personal in your neighborhood or something. And now there's just this ultra pressure. So it's easy, I think, for us to get distracted from what's really important. And so when we get back to the basics here, and figure out, what the substance is, what is it that really makes our heart sing, and focus on that rather than focusing on the potential results. One of the biggies is obviously money. Another biggie might be exposure. Another, of course, the money thing it's like an umbrella to other things, because money can equal freedom in a lot of ways, right? We have money, we can travel, we can go out to dinner, we can have time, a lot more time, right? We can buy houses, we can buy outfits and cars and blah, 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 blah. We tend to focus on that more than really what gets you there, which is following your passion and focusing on the substance. And so that's kind of where I want to go today. And for me, it was a bunch of things here. In order to do that, in order to focus on the substance, you've got to have a full well. You can't have a dry well. We talked about this a little bit, kind of pulling it together. You've got to keep yourself filled up, or you're not going to be in a place to focus on the substance. If your well is dry, you got to keep yourself filled up. And people often think, oh, she's so selfish. This is a good selfish, because if you're going to truly find your purpose and the meaning in your life, which will in turn result in success, which will bring you all these other side effects of money and freedom and everything, you've got to keep yourself filled up. We cannot give what we don't have. That is just it. We cannot give what we don't have. And so we've really got to be focused there. And here's the other thing, like it or not, because I know that there are some atheists out there, and I have a theory on that one. You've got to have some kind of spiritual practice. Not talking about religion. That can be fine. For sure, if going to church does it for you, or temple or whatever, that's great. But I'm talking about a spiritual practice, especially in the morning, because only when we can be still can we kind of figure out what our next move is to begin with. And we've got to sort of get this, that there's a divine connection, a power bigger than all of us. We've got to get that, or there isn't anything going to happen for you. I'm just, as far as authenticity, meaning, purpose, it just isn't. Because, to have the faith in a higher power, regardless of what you call that, whether that's universe, source with a capital S, for me it's God, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It matters that you believe in your own divinity, and that your divinity is connected to everybody else's divinity in the oneness of the higher, of however you label the higher power. It's got to happen, because that's where it's all coming. Think about it. No matter what we think of, a chair, a book, a movie, or whatever, that in order for that to come about, to have a chair to sit on, a book to read, a movie to watch, a bicycle to jump on, whatever, mountains to ski on, that'd be somewhere first, before it could, manifest. Think about that. So anyway, and my personal theory on atheists is that in order to not believe in God, you got to believe there's a God to not believe in. Swap it out for the universe. The idea is not to preach to people. The idea is that in order to be successful, truly be successful, and we're not talking about just having some McMansion somewhere on the beach. We're talking about, at least for me, about never feeling better in your skin ever than at this minute. That's, to me, that's success. Success is also being able to say no and not feeling guilty or bad or less than, or oh no, what does she think? What is, oh, like, maybe, oh, does she like me still? Can we still be friends? Is she distancing? Who cares, right? So to be able to say no authentically and be okay with it, to feel good in your skin and be okay with it. And so as far as the success, as far as the substance part, focusing on the substance, we've got to, okay, so we're going to recap. Focusing on the substance means gotta have a divine, gotta acknowledge your own divinity and the connection, divine connection. Gotta have a spiritual practice. You know, mine is in the morning. I do my gratitude journal. This is less than 10 minutes, like less than 7 minutes. My gratitude journal, little mindfulness, little 10-second breathing exercise. I've kind of added, in addition to mindfulness, you know, other ones I do. 10 minutes, gratitude journal, quick breathing exercise, and I often read a short affirmation. Sometimes I'll watch a 3-minute, you know, uplifting video, but all of that can fit into 10 minutes, 15 max. So you gotta have a spiritual practice for that. For some people, that might be church, it might be a morning run, and that's also something I've done for years. Whenever I run, when I get back, I'm like, I'm on such a higher plane. All of a sudden, the whole time went. I don't even know where it went. So it can be running, it can be dancing, it can be being on a chairlift, it can be going for a walk, it can be whatever. But in order to have that quiet time, got to be still, because the only way to also, as far as focusing on your substance and figuring out what your next move is, you've got to have that still time. And I mean still here, not still sitting like a Zen monk in a cave eating yogurt, which is also fine. But for me, I relax the best in motion. I have the clearest head when I'm in motion, so that's fine. Okay, so spiritual practice, getting your divinity, being still of mind so that it comes to you, so you can listen for those whispers guiding you in the right direction. And actually, you know, Oprah's my dear friend who just doesn't know. She talks about listening to the whispers a lot. Listen to the whispers until they turn into bricks. Well, if you're zipping on like a gerbil on crack, you're not going to hear the whispers. And also, she says, if you're asking like everyone and their sister around you, I'm not talking about your closest, you know, your first string. I'm not talking about that. We're kind of, you know, asking a million people, what should I do next week? Then you don't really know. So the time, what to do then is to retreat. For me, it's the woods. If you live in some urban area, maybe a park, it may be a quiet spot somewhere in your apartment or house or condo, but to retreat and have that stillness here, so that you can figure out what your next move is. And then no matter what, and this is just for me, you know, true success in some way, in addition to these other things, acknowledging your divinity, acknowledging spiritual practice, acknowledging being still, keeping yourself filled up and healthy, meaning physically, mentally, everything healthy, by keeping your battery recharged, saying no, setting boundaries, blah, 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 blah. In addition to all that is the service piece. And it doesn't mean you need to go into the Peace Corps. I mean, that's nice, but you don't have to. And it doesn't mean that you have to go to church every Sunday, also nice, but that's not required. You can be a bank teller, make a gigantic difference in somebody's life. Or, you know, pick any occupation. Recycling person, working at Dunkin' Donuts, you know, doctor, lawyer, teacher, it doesn't matter. Landscapers, to be committed to that service. And for me, as you know, I am committed to spreading as much positivity in this world as I can while I'm here. And as long as I still have music in me, I'm going to hang around for a while, because I do not plan to go to my great reward until every last note has been played or sung. Truthfully, I'm not much of a singer, couldn't hit a note with a 2x4, but you know what I'm saying. As long as I have music in me, I will just continue to spread that positivity and to the very best I can help people begin to see and acknowledge their own value. And currently, that is at Champlain College, where I love it, you know, with students, with my colleagues, and doing workshops. You know, they all involve this stuff, all involve ways to see our own value, and all these ways to become more positive and increase levels of happiness, blah, 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 blah. It is service. Whether I get a paycheck or not isn't the point. We all need paychecks, sure. But it's about, I'm so committed to service Doesn't matter if I'm on the clock, off the clock, it just doesn't matter. And it doesn't feel like work. Why? Because it's my authentic purpose. It was what I was put on this earth to do. And when you find that, it just you have to listen, because it's already there. You can't just create it. It's already been created. You got to, it's like an archaeological dig. You got to just, and then you just know. And when you go forward with that, as they say, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, and that kind of thing. And it's all about this service to others, the transcendence of, being one little minuscule grain of sand on a gigantic beach. That really is the bigger reward, I guess I would say. So focus on the substance, commit to service. All the rest will fall into play as far as the side effects, like the money, the freedom, the travel, the house, the partners, maybe the golden retriever. All of it will all fall into place. Awesome. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from the beautiful northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.